apart from that division centre car, most other drivers are there, but I can see one gap, that is on row 7. The number 3 car of Nevius Zabotka is missing, but other than that, I think we are good to go. The 30-second board is now shown by the marshal down there on the start line. It's going to be a 15-minute race, as indeed are all of the races this weekend. The 5-second board goes up, the red lights go on, and we're about to get racing for the first time today. It's a very good start from the second row of the grid by number 25, Mark Firth, and he's got past both of the 2 front row men already as they make their way down to Gerrard's Bend for the first time. It's Mark Firth then that gets into the lead of the race. It looks like it might well be Adam Lockwood's that's gone back to 3rd place in actual fact. James Janicki, I think, possibly getting ahead of him as they turn their way off Gerrard's Bend and down the Stevie Straight for the first time in what is going to be a 15-minute race. It's 3 cars then pulling away for the lead. Gareth Newton in car 24, the Nissan Pulsar, has lost a position that's because Jason Jess has got back up to...
Jason Jess is there as well, so the man in 4th place claws onto the tail now, and here comes James Janicki as well, up towards the hairpin, looking for 2nd place. He's got the job done, he's down the inside. Jason Jess tries to go round the outside, and look at that, the man who was up in the lead at the start of this lap, Mark Firth, is now down to 4th place, and maybe he's got a problem. Wait to see as they come down the Devil's Elbow for the 2nd time, but it's Adam Lockwood, your race leader, in place. James Janicki trying to get on the outside line of that all-green machine of Adam Lockwood, but he can't quite do it at the minute. It's great to have the TV cameras this weekend, provided by AMG TV, of course, going out live all day online on Sunday. But here comes the battle for the lead. James Janicki on the outside line, Adam Lockwood on the inside line, the back marker's in the way, and James Janicki is going to grab it away down towards turn number 1. He's got it done, he takes the outside line, he takes the lead of the race as well, but can Adam Lockwood fight back? He tries to hold the inside line as much as possible as they then run onto the back straight, which is Stevie Straight here at Mallory Park. They're still nose to tail all the way down the straight. Adam Lockwood should have a little bit more power in his car as they head up towards the S's. Once more, he is again trying to show that nose down the inside, but James Janicki, for the time being, has got that covered in.
He has indeed. It was Nevius Zabotka that was the back marker. He obviously started the race from the pit lane because he didn't take up his grid position. We'll put the hairpin then. The leader is James Janicki. It's 2nd to Lockwood. 3rd at the moment is Jason Jess. Still in 4th place, I think, is the 25 car of Mark Firth. Gareth Newton is 5th in the 24 Nissan Pulsar and running in 6th position at the moment. Then is the number 35 Toyota MR2 of Rob Jeffries. Now, Matt mentioned the TV cameras that we have here. If you're watching us live on the internet, a very good afternoon to you. Live streaming as well of this event today, and in particular tomorrow, when we've got a few more cameras here as well. And in about 3 weeks' time, you'll be able to see edited highlights of this race meeting on Motors TV as well.
Now James Janicki has just done the fastest lap of the race previous time through, 52.502, 4 laps now being completed, and the gap at the line was 1.1 seconds. There's another slower car in the way, which brings the top 2 once again much closer together on the way towards the Shaw's hairpin.
And a great battle going on here for 10th and 11th position. It's Craig Rankine who's getting ahead now. Paul Corbridge, they're absolutely side by side as they come off Gerrard's Bend now. It looks like Paul Corbridge who's just about getting his nose in front. This is battle between the 2 MR2s, the blue and white car of Paul Corbridge, the orange car of Craig Rankine. They're still side by side as they make their way through the S's now, climbing up the hill towards Shaw's Corner. It's Craig Rankine, who was in 11th at the beginning of the lap, who's now got his way up into 10th position. Let's have a look up at Shaw's Corner. Has he made that stick? The answer is just about yes, and there's a Hyundai Coupe getting involved as well.
There's battles going on everywhere so far in this first Nippon Challenge race, and again the battle for the lead is hotter than ever because in the back straight he couldn't make anything work though, but he's hassling James Janicki all the time. Once again they turn their way through the right then the left of the S's, and then again on towards the tight right-handed hairpin over there at Shaw's hairpin. We've got more MR2s and a great tussle down towards turn number 1. I think there's 4 cars now all battling over that one place.
Yes, also involved is David Hemingway, and so is Peter Heighton as well, so more and more cars involved. They're heading off Gerrard's Bend and down the Stevie Straight now, but let's have a look at the leaders. They're coming back towards us, and there's a bit more daylight this time over the line between James Janicki and Adam Lockwood. So Lockwood in the second half of that lap has lost a little bit of ground. Meanwhile, in that battle for 10th place amongst the MR2s is the battle for the lead of the GT150 class as well. It is still Craig Rankine ahead of Paul Corbridge Dave Hemingway and Peter Heighton. It really is two car scraps now for 10th, 11th, 12th and 13th.
Yeah, it looks like Dave Hemingway as well had a little bit of bodywork. He has got a little bit of bodywork on the right hand side of the car hanging off, so he's had contact with someone or something. He's all over the tail at the minute though, by the looks of it, of the number 4 car, which is that of Peter Higton. Down towards Gerard's he goes, and they are going to be side by side into the corner. Just going to be Higton for the time being. It's the man behind that sits there for the time being, David Hemingway, and then once again for the race lead is still as it was, James Janicki ahead of Adam Lockwood as the laps start reeling away once again. 7 to be completed this time through.
Yeah, 8 minutes and 40 seconds still on the clock, so it's still not quite at half distance yet. A run down on the order. The leader is number 19, James Janicki. Second is number 11, that's Adam Lockwood.
Adam Lockwood second, Jason Jess in third, and Mark Firth in fourth.
And it's side by side for the leader of the GT 150 class, and it was Paul Corbridge that just got his nose ahead once more as they turn their way into Gerard's Bend. It's Corbridge that's back through now ahead of Craig Rankine. It's the battle for 10th and 11th positions overall. Also noticed that it was getting closer and closer for 8th and 9th as well, between Lee Bennett-Neal in the Honda Integra and Kevin Middleton in the Mazda MX-5 as well. They were having a very good scrap, and here they are. No, it's not them coming down the hill yet, but there's Mark Firth, and he's got the Nissan Pulsar right behind him as well. The gap down to half a second between Mark Firth and Gareth Newton, but still watching this battle for 10th position. A little bit of a mistake there, I think, by Craig Rankine. That meant that he got a wheel on the dirt as they went through the Lake Esses. They're being lapped as well by the race leaders. So battle for 10th being lapped by James Janicki now. Is this going to give Adam Lockwood another opportunity to close in? Adam Lockwood was my tip for the win. Jason Jess in third place was Matt's tip for the win. As things stay as they are, it looks like we might both be wrong, because James Janicki is still leading this race. The gap was 1.1 seconds, it's still 1.1 seconds with 3 minutes left to go. Right then, back to fourth place as well between Mark Firth and the man in fifth place, Gareth Newton. Up towards Shaw's hairpin they come, and this is the closest Gareth Newton has been so far. He looks towards the outside line on the exit of the corner. We'll wait to see them back into a Devil's Elbow once again. They've got a few more back markers this time round. Don't quite have the speed down the straight. He's going to try and do a good job of getting onto the tail though of Mark Firth. They head down towards Gerrard's once again. Is he going to look towards the inside line? No, that is heavily defended by the man in fourth place, Mark Firth, so he sits there for the time being, and this one is great to watch. We've only got a few more laps to squeeze in, but it is the first of 2 races today for the Nippon Challenge, and it's producing a lot of action so far, Ian. Well, it certainly is. It's good battling down the order now. I see that Paul Corbridge has managed to get the Adam Lockwood car between himself and Craig Rankine now, which suggests to me that Adam Lockwood has lost some time that lap. The gap was 1.1, it's now 2.9, virtually 3 seconds, so Adam Lockwood has lost quite a bit of time in the traffic there, and with that, with only 3 laps to go, I think any chance of him winning the race have gone as well. It's the number 28 car making its way around Gerard's Bend, that's Paul Lorry. He's in 17th position overall, just running on his own a little bit. MR2 and Hyundai races. The sun is out again at Mallory Park as the red lights are on. They go out now. Away we go. Good start again from Mark Firth. Again, a poor start from Adam Lockwood. And that little Nissan Pulsar of Gareth Newton gets away quite nicely as well as they stream down to Gerard's Bend for the first time. It's almost side by side for the lead. Certainly it's Newton's Pulsar in third position, but who has got the lead of the race? I get binoculars focused in. It is James Janicki that's leading. In second place, Mark Firth. Then it's Gareth Newton in third position, and then it's the Adam Lockwood car. That was my tip for success this weekend, in fourth position. But look at that, Paul Corbridge, one of the little Mark 1 MR2s, I should say, making a bit of ground around the outside there at Lake Esses. But the leader, as they head up to the hairpin for the first time, Matt, is James Janicki.
Yeah, Adam Lockwood off the start went absolutely nowhere. Luckily he's recovered back to fourth place now, so we'll see what he can do from there. But the wheel spin came in, and like you said, great start from the slightly less powerful cars, which means they should be up there with this track at the minute. But I think it is going to drive with the sun down back out, the drying line already starting to appear, so we'll see how it all turns out. But James Janicki leads at the end of lap number 1. Second place is that of Mark Firth, who went pretty well in race number 1, got on the podium towards the end of the race. Third place is
bound to be lapped by, past I should say, by Zabotka. I think Zabotka is behind him. It's just behind the Lee Bennett-Neal car as well as that Toyota Sneaker as well in the mix too. As Janicki and Firth come through to complete lap number 3 of the race. Then it's Lockwood and Newton, third and fourth. Fifth is Karen Phillips, sixth on his own now is Kevin Middleton, this is number 7 Mazda MX-5. That means the first of the GT 50 cars is now locked. Paul Corbridge, it's Craig Rankine. Up to 7th in car number 22, 8th is Jeffries, 9th is Zabotka, and 10th is Lee Bennett-Neal.
Zabotka has just gone through, in fact, to take that place away down towards Gerard. So Zabotka now up 1 place ahead of that of Jeffrey, so he goes into 8th place on the exit of the corner now. Meantime, up towards the battle for the lead. They're already up towards the hairpin once again, so they've got immense speed at the minute as they take their way through. So your top 4 up towards Shaw's hairpin, still with the race leader James Janicki, Mark Firth there, 2nd place. 3rd place then is that of Adam Rockwood, 4th place Gareth Newton, and running really well at the minute is Karen Phillips. She's putting on a great show there in 5th place, but now she's starting to be hounded as she runs slightly wide on the exit of the hairpin, and let's see if Kevin Middleton can get the run in the Mazda MX-5 to dive up the inside, so they come back down to Devil's Elbow.
The driver's been making up ground. He was back in 17th at the end of lap 1, was the number 3 car of Zabotka, and yes, Zabotka started on 19th. 17th at the end of lap 1 was 9th, now to 8th position, I think, at the end of the lap. That's what's happening, Matt.
Paul Corbridge has got a cone under his front wing.
Right, well that tends to suggest he has been off the circuit then, doesn't he? He's picked up a cone and he's taking that around the circuit with him. There's the number 5 car, that's David Hemingway, tries to run away past the 73 car of Mr. Collier. Tony Collier in his Toyota Snickers swan into the pit. Still this battle going on for 30 Hemingway and Robinson in one of the Hyundais. Now that cone is getting ever more wedged into the car, which I think we might see a black and orange flag before too much longer. Head to the pit to get it sorted out. Fastest lap of the race has just gone to Adam Lockwood, by the way. He's at 55.38, so he's gone 3/10 of a second faster than the drivers in front of him. He's 3 seconds through to the 2nd place around there. That's Mark Firth.
0.1 seconds separates the top 3 in that gap, as I said, coming down and down. Meantime, just further back for 5th place, this lap, Karen Phillips, I was going to say, has been passed by Kevin Middleton. He then goes right round the outside once again, down towards Gerard to 5th place. Then we've got this great scrap going on. This is quite amusing to watch for Paul Corbridge with the cone, but probably not for himself at the minute. The cone still hasn't dislodged itself, and he sits now behind Lee Bennett-Neal.
When he thought he might stop for a cone later on, that wasn't quite what he'd got in mind, was it? He was going to have a flake in it, I think. Meanwhile, it's still...
if they can find their way through, James Janicki's going to get it, I think, at the wrong time here as he turns in towards the S's. There's 2 cars now between the 1st and 2nd place. The first one to come across will be that of Lee Bennett-Neal, which I think he's got past.
I was going to say, Paul Corbridge has got rid of his cone, but there was side-by-side moment with Corbridge and Craig Rankine there as they came through the S's that time, and they're still side-by-side as they come out of Shaw's corner now, down towards the Devil's Elbow. It's still Rankine that just about has the lead of Class GT 150 for the MR2 Mark 1s. They come up and over the line now. They're just being lapped as well by the race leader James Janicki, but the gap has come down 1st to 2nd. Janicki's lost about a second. The gap down to 2.3 seconds. Adam Lockwood there in 2nd place in his car, which is of course the Nissan 200S X. It's the Nissan Skyline for the leader James Janicki. Still there in 3rd place is Mark Firth in the Mitsubishi 3000 in 3rd, and it's the Nissan Pulsar of Gareth Newton still in 4th place, but the lead is coming down.
And it's still side by side between Paul Corbridge and Craig Rankine as they go through the S's. It's Paul Corbridge who just about pulls back ahead then on the run up towards Shaw's hairpin. It's the man on the inside, the blue and white car of Paul Corbridge, that's going to go defensive, and he should be able to hold that place for the time being. But now both of these have got to look in their mirrors because the very fast 2nd place man, Adam Lockwood, is going to be working his way through very, very shortly. So turning their way now down through the Devil's Elbow. There goes race leader James Janicki onto lap number 14 with just under 3 minutes to go. There goes Adam Lockwood. Is the gap coming down again? No, it's gone out by about 2 seconds that time between 1st and 2nd. It's now out to the margin of 4.7 seconds.
Okay, so maybe chance has gone for Adam Lockwood then. 1.6 seconds in hand over Mark Firth in 3rd position, so that's something to be keeping an eye on. Lockwood, I think we said earlier on, had half a dozen top 6 finishes already this season, including a few podiums, but not yet. MR2s have been concerned, or Paul Corbridge has done quite a bit of the winning. He won all of the first 4 rounds of the series at Snetterton, at Rockingham, the man to beat at Castle Coombs, Aaron Puller, and indeed at Brandtouch as well. So it's 4 apiece in the win stakes between those 2. Here you've got Corbridge starting on pole position, you've got Aaron Puller though starting 10th, so that should be quite interesting. All the drivers have been up and about the podium, the likes of David Hemingway, Gary Lawrence, Richard Avery has been up there, so Peter Heighton, Craig Rankine as well, Nathan Harrison too. Last time
back, he gets back into 4th, and John Winter's been ousted out. He's now down to 6th place, 5th place.
Okay, so they're going back towards us. Paul Corbridge is literally in a race of his own, but here comes the top 5 for second. It's Rankine that's just holding on for 2nd place. 3rd is Davis, 4th is Nathan Harrison, the 35-year-old in this race. Here comes Paul Corbridge. He's going to get the last lap board, I think, with 8 seconds left to go on the clock. Through in 2nd place is John Winter. 3rd place is the orange car, which is Craig Rankine. 4th is Nathan Harrison. 5th is Ian Davis. 6th is Kevin Molyneux. 7th is David Hemingway. 8th is Neil Owen. They've all been on the grass in the space of the last lap or so. That fight really going on for 3rd place now. Rankine trying to fend off Harrison and Davis.
Yeah, still not over, and again, can Nathan Harrison get the run on towards Stebby Straight? We'll wait and see, as he's right in the toe now. We'll go towards the outside line. Hopefully he won't run too wide, as now towards the inside comes Ian Davies. So you've got those 2 red cars there being squeezed right onto the inside was the car of Ian Davies, and for 2nd place it still goes, 3rd place now, it still goes on. Meantime up the road is John Winter, and into the hairpin for the final time comes Paul Corbridge.
Yes, so Paul Corbridge has been untainted by all of this shenanigans. He's had a quiet race all of his own. He's making his way back down towards us now, as Kevin Molyneux was trying to make a move for the hairpin, and he has spun around, but Paul Corbridge comes through. It's his 5th win of the season in the YourIrishShop.com Toyota MR2 Racing Series. 2nd place and another win amongst the Hyundai Coupe division, John Winter. 3rd goes to Craig Rankine. 4th to Nathan Harrison. 5th to Ian Davis. 6th in the end to David Hemingway. 7th was Neil Horan. 8th Aaron Pullen. 9th was Hennessy in the 64 car. That was Steve Hennessy. Didn't talk much about him in this race. And 10th in the end was number 16 Daniel Farmer. But victory for Paul Corbridge. He waves to the crowd there, and he's very pleased indeed with that. But what a chaotic race that was behind, with some drivers taking to the grass on more than one occasion during the course of that race. So I'm quite sure that we'll hear that a few drivers have been called up to the clerk of the course for a conversation after that one. But the win went to Paul Corbridge then by 6.8 seconds from John Winter. In 3rd place it was Craig Rankine. He was another 2.4 seconds drift, but then the gaps were smaller. Nathan Harrison was 4/10 behind. Suckling is with the top 3.
That's a nice name for it. Yeah, we've got the 3 drivers down here, so we'll have a quick chat with our race winner, Paul Corbridge, from that one. Paul, cracking race from you. You were just saying you didn't like to see the red flag, but then it all turned out right in the end.
Yeah, I mean, I pushed hard in the first 6 or 7 laps to try and build a gap so I could try and maintain the gap, and then it was all undone with the red flag. But luckily I got away well, and I take Gerard's quite well anyway, I think, and I managed to pull a bit of a gap there. Can I just say, while I'm on the mic, to Alec, because I've made a bit of a mistake in qualifying and bashed my car up, and thanks to Alec to Prize Motorsport for fixing it up for the race.
Great stuff, well on victory.
Well, the start line marshals rushing out onto the grid now as these cars are on their 2nd green flag lap. Again, the conditions have changed since the first race, so the drivers just taking the opportunity to get acclimatised to these conditions. Well, we've had 8 races before this weekend in the YourIrishShop.com MR2 Racing Series and the PC Byte Hyundai Coupe Cup. And up until today, the wins had been split equally between Paul Corbridge and Aaron Pullen. But Paul Corbridge won early on. Aaron Pullen failed to finish and has then been excluded, so they're going to start this race from literally opposite ends of the grid. Paul Corbridge has had 5 wins now, Aaron Pullen 4. And you'd back Paul Corbridge, I think, to extend his win total for the season. The Prize Motorsport entered Toyota MR2 that lines up on pole position, but different conditions this time. Will that play into the hands, possibly, of the Hyundai Coupes? And so on they are now, and the race gets underway, and it's a poor start from that heavier Hyundai Coupe of John Winter. He gets swallowed up by the rest of the field, so it's the lead being held by the car of pole position man Paul Corbridge then, as they turn their way through Gerrard's Bend for the first time. From the outside of row 2, it looks as if Nathan Harrison has made it into 2nd place, and Craig Rankine is in 3rd position as they turn their way off Gerrard's Bend. Who's that making an attack? That could well be the is that the David Hemingway car? I think it could be car number 5 that is now up into 2nd position. Great drive there for number 5. He's gone around the outside there, and he's now challenging Paul Corbridge for the lead of the race. In fact, it's not number 5, it's number 13. So from 8th on the grid, Roger Pullen is about to take the lead of the race, and he's going to do so. Or is he? No, he just has to tuck back in behind Paul Corbridge as they turn their way out of Shaw's corner. So it's Corbridge leading, then it's Roger Pullen in second place, then in third place it's Craig Rankine, in fourth is Nathan Harrison, but they're side by side as they come over the line, and Roger Pullen has got it done. Roger Pullen goes through to take the lead. Into Gerrard's Bend for the second time, then Craig Rankine going to try to go around the outside of Paul Corbridge for second place as well. They are absolutely alongside, but it's just the orange car now that's got his nose in front. They've all got their pop-up headlamps displayed, and it looks like it is Craig Rankine that has gone through now into second place. Yes, he has. So it's Roger Pullen leading, Rankine second, third is Paul Corbridge, fourth is Nathan Harrison, fifth I think is possibly David Hemingway. Timing screen is not quite yet up to date, so we'll have to work from what we can see in front of us, and of course Dave Vass on the lap chart as well. So as they go up towards Shaw's corner then for the second time, it's the 13 car leading off Roger Pullen, a deeper line into the corner being taken by the pole position man Paul Corbridge. It looked like David Hemingway was trying to get fourth place away from the car that had been running in fourth place, which was Nathan Harrison. Coming back towards us then to complete lap number 2, it's Roger Pullen that continues to lead, Rankine is second, Corbridge third, now it's Hemingway fourth, fifth is Harrison, then a gap back to the sixth place car, which is Gary Lawrence. The first of the Hyundais in seventh place is John Winter.
Yep, so another MR2 race looking forward to here, with once again the rain coming down. Whoever's gone for the trouser options today, I think they've done very well, because shorts would have been the wrong choice. Meantime though, still up front is that man number 13 who has gone through, Roger Pullen, doing well of course. Is he going to be outed by the man in second place, Craig Rankine, who got a podium in race number 1? Well, at the minute he's trying to bring that gap down. It's the fight for third place that's going on at the minute. It's really one to keep an eye on, because David Hemingway is there, race 1 winner Paul Corbridge next up, then Nathan Harrison in 5th place, and Gary Lawrence is there or thereabouts as well. Those 6 cars now pulling away from the Hyundai Coupe leader, which is John Winter, and for the second time heading up towards the hairpin.
Yeah, we shouldn't take too much notice of what's on the screen. Now they've sorted it out, so it is Roger Pullen leading from Craig Rankine. Yes, that makes a little bit more sense. Okay, he's up at Shaw's hairpin then, as I say. And 64 we can see going through a shot. That was the car of Steve Hennessy, who I think was a retirement from the earlier race. But over the line comes number 13, Roger Pullen, then in the lead of the race. The gap has stayed pretty much constant, it's about 0.8 of a second. Then it's another 0.8 of a second back to Hemingway in third place, then Corbridge in fourth, Harrison in fifth, and Lawrence is in 6th position. 7th you can see is the 58 car, or the 46 car, beg your pardon, of Winter, John Winter, in the first of the Hyundais. But we've not really noticed Aaron Pullen from 9th from the back of the grid. He's up to 9th, and he's just set the fastest lap of the race. So watch out for car number 69, Aaron Pullen, excluded from race 1, starts at the back of the grid. He's up to 9th, and he's got the fastest lap.
Yep, so we'll keep an eye on Aaron Pullen. Also keep an eye...
the spin, I should say. Sorry, Matt, that's John Winter that spun around at the S's in the Hyundai.
Yeah, it's not good news for him. He's had many wins this year in that class. He now gets re-going. He's going to lose probably 2nd and 3rd as well, so he's going to be down there in 3rd. Sideways for Nathan Harrison. He just about corrects it on the exit of the hairpin as he turns his way through. But yeah, this scrap for 3rd place is fantastic at the minute. David Hemingway is there. They're now closing on the top 2 as well, and taking with him is Paul Corbridge. So these 6 cars come through, still all pretty much as one, and then they get back to the 7th place car, which is that of not now John Winter, but Neil Hurren. And
here comes Aaron Pullen. Is challenging Neil Hurren for 7th place now as they go over the line and towards Gerrard's Bend. And Aaron Pullen has a look on the inside of Neil Hurren, but he's not quite yet made that place through. He'll be keen to get past Neil Hurren as fast as he possibly can, because he then needs to try and bridge that gap to the top 6 cars that are much further up the road. There's a gap of about... Oh, and Gary Lawrence has gone off at Gerrard's Bend, so that's one less car that he needs to worry about. There's a gap of about 5 seconds between what was Gary Lawrence and Neil Hurren, so there's about 5 seconds that Aaron Pullen will need to try and make up. He has now got ahead of Neil Hurren now, so he's up into what will be 6th place following the demise of Gary Lawrence.
And up into not just 3rd but 2nd place now has gone Paul Corbridge, so a great run on that lap to get past both Craig Rankine, and also as well he's managed to get past Dave Hemingway, so it's all changed up towards the front. So your race leader, still no change there, Roger Pullen. 2nd place now is Paul Corbridge, 3rd place for Craig Rankine, 4th place is Nathan Harrison, and now back to the train at the back is that of Dave Hemingway. We know we've lost Gary Lawrence, the all blue car down at Gerrard's, and then here comes Aaron Pullen, still on the move. He goes through and he's ahead of Neil Hurren and does another personal best lap of the race.
But the fastest lap of the race has gone to Paul Corbridge in 2nd position. He's 9 tenths behind the leader. which is Aaron's father, Roger Pullen, the consultant proctologist from Bedfordshire. But I think that gap has come down a little bit during the course of the first third of this lap. There's only about 4 car lengths between the two leaders. It's side by side for third place as well. Now as the cars go along Stubby Straight and into the Lake Essex, it's Nathan Harrison on the inside line, and he's gone through ahead of Craig Rankine now to take third place away. So Nathan Harrison goes up to third place. Craig Rankine goes down to 4th. It's still David Hemingway in 5th position. And then a gap back to Aaron Pullen, who we can just see in the back of shot there in 6th place. But up to Shaw's Corner goes that battle for third place. The leader still, though, is the 13 car of Roger Pullen from number 43, Paul Corbridge.
Yep, and while that's all been going on, Paul Corbridge has got his fishing rod out. He's starting to reel in this wet weather. The man who leads this one, Roger Pullen. So across the line they go, separated last time by 9/10 of a second, this time by half a second exactly. And Paul Corbridge does the fastest lap of the race, 105.513. So he's there in second. Is that going to be the lead before long? We know he had a very big margin in race number 1 that he won by. Of course, we had a red flag as well, so hopefully not the same in this one, but he's going to try and turn his attention now to the back of Roger Pullen. On towards Step Straight these two cars go, and a great run from Paul Corbridge there in second place. Can he get close to Roger? He looks towards the inside line. He's going to be late surely on the S's as they head their way down towards that part of the section now, and he doesn't quite do it. He swaps back to the outside line again. Roger Pullen going very defensive. He now tries to tuck the nose up the inside as they head their way through a spinner down at Gerrard's. Meantime, side by side for the race lead, it's the man who is challenging Paul Corbridge down the inside line up towards Shaw's hairpin. And again, Roger Pullen very late on the brakes. He should just about hold that unless he's late on the brakes, which I think he was, but he turns the car in and he still holds the lead.
Meanwhile, the spinner was the 25 car of David Johnson from St Neots at Gerrard's Bend, but he's finally resumed the circuit again. But let's have a look at the leaders as they come back towards us then. It is still the 13 car that is ahead, which is Roger Pullen. So it's Pullen from Corbridge, then Harrison 3rd, Hemingway up to 4th, down Rankine down to 5th. Here comes Aaron Pullen though. What can he do? Lap times are, well, I was going to say have settled down a bit, but Pullen's just at the best lap of the race, a 105.52. He's got the gap down to 2.5 seconds between Rankine in 5th and Aaron Pullen in 6th place. Still Neil Horan 7th, Richard Avery is 8th, Kevin Molyneux is 9th, and Ian Davis completes the top 10. The best of the Hyundai Coupes, by the way, is the 58 car of Simon Miles from Stockbridge.
And it was nearly take 2 for the race lead down the Seb Straight, because again Paul Corbridge got a fantastic run down there in towards the S's. Is he going to be side by side with Roger Pullen? I think he is. Nearly contact between the two again as they turn their way on towards the hairpin. This is great action for the lead. They're keeping it as clean as possible as well. Not much contact between the two. And while this is all going on, as Roger Pullen now breaks himself, Paul Corbridge back towards the inside line. I was just about to say Nathan Harrison's getting in on the action as well. So it's 3 for the race lead, but who is going to be the race leader? Down through Devil's Elbow, it's going to be now Paul Corbridge.
Yes, he's taken the lead then as they come through to complete lap number 8, profiting there from Roger Pullen. I think going too late on the brakes in these very wet conditions into Shaw's Corner. So Corbridge it is that leads. He won race number 1 as well. In second place it's Roger Pullen. In third it's Nathan Harrison, and the gap back to David Hemingway in 4th spot. Craig Rankine is 5th, and Aaron Pullen is 6th, but he took another 2.3 seconds out of Rankine on that lap. So we'll look back to have a look at that particular scrap for 5th and 6th positions, and it looks like Pullen has already gone through. Yes, he has, and Pullen is now about to attack David Hemingway for 4th place. We've just got 5.5 minutes left in this race. Don't rule out the car that is currently in 5th position.
Ooh, and a big spin there for the 3rd place man of Nathan Harrison. He loses it on the way to the S's. That holds up Dave Hemingway and also Aaron Pullen, but now Aaron looks to make the move now as the green flags come through. There goes Ian Davies for a ride across the grass as well. He can, so Craig Rankine, sorry, who goes for a ride. He just about manages to hold it before he heads back to the tarmac, but
and a spinner down here into the gravel. Is that John Winter again? Yes, it is. The number 46 car of John Winter, rather beached as well in the gravel trap down beneath us at Devil's Elbow. As the leaders have gone through, Paul Corbridge and Roger Pullen. Corbridge slowed up for the yellow flags there. Roger Pullen closed right up behind him, I think, but no change in the order. It's Hemingway 3rd, Pullen 4th now, then Hurren and Rankine 5th and 6th after we had that spin at Lake Essex. So the leaders making their way around Gerrard's Bend now. For those of you watching at home, you can see this scrap for 3rd place going on. It's between David Hemingway and the man who started at the back of the grid, and that was Aaron Pullen. Oh, an off, a big off there for number 93. That's Gary Lawrence at Lake Essex. He's got a rather biffed and battered car up at Lake Essex now. But meanwhile, let's continue to look at this battle that's turning its way into Lake Essex. They go past the back marker. and a better run through that part of the circuit, but they're going for a yellow flag zone. Yellow flag's covering a lot of the lap here, and that's not making life any easier for Aaron Pullen as he tries to get third place away. The hairpin is one opportunity for him to do so, but he goes very late on the brakes into the corner. They both go very wide indeed. So does Neil Horan, following them, I think, both particularly late on the brakes up at Shaw's corner. Who comes through in third place? It's still the 43 cars. The checkered flag goes out and Paul Corbridge takes the win. Pullen takes second place, and it's just going to be David Hemingway that holds on to third place in the end. Alan Pullen is fourth, and Neil Horan is fifth. Sixth place is going to get Racing Series race in the Hyundai Coupe Cup on your screen now. You'll see that Paul Corbridge took the win from Roger Pullen and David Hemingway, and those three drivers are about to talk to Matt Suckling.
Go then with another podium. Paul Corbridge, victory for the day. You must be a happy man again.
Yeah, I was a bit annoyed to see the rain really, because they had the first race. I've seemed quite in control, so it was a bit of a random factor to bring into the second race. But after we got used to the conditions, we could find the limit. Yeah, it started to come good, and yeah.
One where you kind of brought out the gap, and it was a big old gap. This one was a lot of competition for you again.
It's the rain. It's a big level. It's a bit of randomness into the race. It's all a bit slidey out there. It's good fun actually once you get used to it. But yeah, pleased with that.
Roger Pullen. Roger, hop over here, have a quick word with us. Great